I felt like I was kind of like overdue in terms of like videos like this, where I have to just like kind of talk to you guys, and I always feel so awkward because like I feel like I need to like have like a script or something ready, but I'm just gonna go off. We're gonna kind of work off this together, and we're gonna feel this ghost, right? So, obviously this goes to like everyone with the channel. If you're just someone that randomly found this, cool. But as for everyone else, I just want to yap really quick about like how everything's been going. Um, I have obviously been putting my all into YouTube and Twitch and all that. If you've been around, right, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about in terms of the number of hours and whatnot that's been going into this. And I won't lie, it's been causing a lot of burnout. The hard thing is it's like there's not really many other people that I feel like understand me when it comes to like content creation, and the few that kind of get it aren't even near my sphere of like I guess direction. And it doesn't really help that I'm also like very variety based, so that doesn't help either. And that also explains why like growth is slow. But it's like you know um it, it doesn't help either that like I went from my other blue digit channel that was doing very well, and then I went back to this one for the variety because it just felt right, which is it does regardless if the algorithm likes it or not. It really does feel good doing everything on the channel again because it's where I started and it's where I made like my first promise to actually make sure that I didn't stop doing this until I succeeded, and I feel like I haven't really I guess lived up to that yet. But the main point of this video is for me to make one thing clear. Regardless if things go perfect or not in the upcoming months, weeks, if it takes more years to reach our goal, which obviously that I don't want it to, but you know what, we've already been doing this for over a decade. I wouldn't be surprised if it takes more. Um the one thing I've always wanted, and I said this beforehand when I was working on the other Blue Digit channel, was I wanted my effort to be undeniable. Regardless if you loved me or hated me, I wanted everyone to think, damn, Blue really works hard. He's putting everything he's got into this. And that's always just stuck with me, man. It's like, you know, I've spoken about how like this shit feels like an obsession, but it's like, when it comes to family and friends and people like, really like I guess believe me with anything, man. Um, it's been really hard for me to kind of like see people eye to eye now. Um, the same people that like I used to worry about saying if I worked hard or not. I mean, hell, I one of the hardest jobs I did was being a corrections officer. And when it comes to a lot of my family, except for maybe some people in the military that was in my family, like I kept always hearing the same thing from family friends, where it's like oh, you don't know what real hard work is. You don't know what this is like. You don't know what a real bad day is like. And now that I've just kind of been through the ringer of life when it's come to everything. And I would argue, as I know some people might find this a little cringe, but I mean this. For me, when it comes to specifically finding God, man, that was the biggest thing for me. That like I really think like matures someone and gets you into a level where it's like when you hear people saying, the naysayers, that really blocks things out immediately because there's just a different kind of clarity to you. And I mean that there's just a completely different kind of clarity. Um, Now where I'm kind of going with this is I still have internal thoughts every day, every single day. Okay. But more now it's like these little like internal nagging voices where it's like, oh, this is gonna be too hard. You can't do the investment. Um, what if it doesn't turn out? It probably won't. And just bam, 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 bam. And I kind of see this over and over again too, where it's like, I even with other people, like and maybe there's a little bit of envy, but I don't think so. It's more just like, a little bit of despair in my heart where it's like I'll see other people like do something the same way and they'll get the results way faster or easier. And it's like, wow, I'm happy for them. But what does that entail for me since I can't do that sometimes? Um, and that definitely sucks. But the one thing I've always wanted with my channel and content creation and working on this shit is again, I want to be undeniable. I want people to look at what I do, regardless if it's perfect or not, whether it can do great things, and I want them to just look at it and be like, yeah, Blue is constantly on the ringer. In terms of shorts, we've been uploading more than ever with shorts, okay? Constantly with shorts. And I want to thank everyone on the Twitch. If you haven't already been on the Twitch, please do, okay? We've been great with growing the community, and I want to keep growing. I think we've been probably like like a solid like 15 viewers at a time usually. Which it can do better. Okay, it can definitely do better. And at times, like, because of the games that I'll do, it'll jump up to like, let's say, if you guys know, I do like Liberation, gameplay, which is like this AOT roleplay kind of thing, right? It sounds a little cringe saying out loud, but it's cool. It is. Then the numbers might jump up to like 60 people sometimes, and I mean that. Like it can jump up quite a bit. However, what I really have wanted, and I mean this, what I want is to get my old like a community of mine back. And the thing is, I know there's people around. I definitely know there's people around, but it's like, obviously, when you do this years on, years in, years on, years in, like, years in, out, like there's people who are going to be coming and staying. And I know where like my good friends are, but at the same time, it's like I've heard people be like, you know what, um, things are changing, life's changing, and it definitely is hard for me knowing that, you know, I can't give up. And I think on one hand, it sounds all sappy and good, but then again, people don't get that. Like I might tell you in this video, and then there'll be someone in like reality that's like close to me, and they'll be like, "Oh man, why don't you just stop that shit? Why don't you just like focus on something else?" And they don't get it. Like nobody will ever get that. Nobody gets the messages I get. Nobody gets the friendships I've made. Nobody gets honestly sometimes like the ways that it's helped me. And that's why this really means a lot to me. So I just want you guys to know that to be undeniable for me, it's not a matter of proving it to everyone else, but it also is for proving it to myself. Because constantly when I hear this shit, I need to have that extra support. That's why like, I used to always kind of like wonder if I could even do this genuinely. And that's why like my first this is my first channel, but the first time I actually made another channel was actually for when I was doing Dead by Daylight. That's I think like 2022. And I was like, I can't do this. Like there'd be videos I get like 1 or 2 views or some shit, and it was just, or maybe 10, and I'd be like, whoa, I work really hard on this, and like I always hear like quality. If someone does, I think Mr. Beast said something like along the lines of, if your video doesn't do well, it's not because your video did well, it's because the audience didn't like that video. I think it's a bunch of malarkey now. I mean that. I think it very much depends on where the algorithm sends your videos. And I think that partially it's about the audience, right? You can't think, oh, well, it's all just the algorithm. Or it's like, oh, it's just all people. Well, so fucking be it. Well, then I need to do better. I'm going to go above and beyond to make my goals become a reality. That's what you got to think. However, at the same time, it's like, you got to be realistic and realize like, sometimes things are out of your control. It's just, is that going to stop you? And for me, it's an astounding no. Whether I succeed or not, which is a scary, terrifying thing to think about. But that's the truth of it. And that's where we are. That's where we are today. But with that channel, that did really... There's one video, just randomly. I think it was like one of the first 5, one of the first 10. And it's just me doing like a review on the patch notes. And I immediately got like 3K. And I stared at the screen. I was like, what the fuck? I knew from that moment, YouTube likes categorizing. People like categorizing. And the fact that this channel hasn't been working out is strictly off the fact that I can't categorize myself that well. That's why I like my other Roblox channel. That one's already done way better, like really good in terms of numbers. Way better in terms of numbers. And honestly, it's been getting close in subs. I think it's like less than like 1K off, but close to 1K. Because of the fact that it's in a Roblox box, right? And my most popular video on there has 365,000 views because of that channel, and that's great. And that also was a learning experience. Constantly, it's like, I gotta edit, right? And dude, that was someone's just like, just upload the video as it is. Don't edit it. Just fucking upload it. I'm like, fuck, you know what? Right. It's better that it just goes out there than not. So I kind of wasn't proud of it, and I thought I wouldn't do well. I just added an intro and an outro, and that's it. And then I did the thumbnail and the title. And then I got that many views. That's what it's like for me. It's like, this whole experience, I want to do more. I want to keep doing more. I do. But the only thing that's reminding me of is honestly the gym, as weird as that sounds. It's like, it's not always about, oh, I need the best contraction. It's about, okay, I go in, I go out. I go in and out. Day in, day out. Day in, day out. Day in, day out. And that's how it is with this for me. With streaming, you guys have already been seeing me. Like, I've been trying my best to stream every day. The only ones I haven't is maybe sometimes on Sundays. But every day, even if I'm, not exactly on time, I'm streaming basically every day. every fucking day. With videos, I've been trying to upload on the TikTok here with the shorts and also just YouTube videos. You guys have been seeing it. You guys have been seeing the uploads. It's been happening a lot more. And sure, not all the videos are doing great, but I'll tell you what, some of the videos are getting thousands. I remember a younger version of me would have flipped out at only even 100 views. So now that we're getting this, for me, it's just keeping the faith and remembering that I need to keep being undeniable, not only for myself, but for everyone else. And that's why this really means a lot to me. I know this is just kind of weird for me ranting about this, but like, that's just how much this means to me. Because it's like, my dream has always been to see if I can even make this full time, really. And my dream has always been to succeed with this. And, even though I don't really, honestly, my heart know that'll ever happen. And I mean that. I don't. I could be like, well, there's no other way. But I don't know. I don't. The one thing I do know is that I can control how hard I push forward, regardless of the circumstances. And that's why I'm doing this exactly the way that I am. So, I want to say thank you to everyone that's obviously still been here, even throughout the years. Because I know that's hard. But frankly, I think the person I want to thank the most is myself. Because I could have stopped as well. And yet, even when I feel, my enemies laugh, my friends banter behind my back at times, the one thing that they can't say is that I give up. Because I'm still here. And I'm not giving up. So, my effort is, in and of itself, undeniable. Was that good? Was that a good way to end the video? Anyways, I know it's just a rant, but I feel like it's just, I know, I want to be genuine with you guys. And, maybe to a younger self or a future self me watching, I need to make sure that I leave a mark as well. So, I'm not stopping anytime soon. I pray that maybe we get some kind of, boost. Again, I know it's probably going to get a few views, but to the few, people that are watching this, I want to say, obviously, thank you if you've gone this far. And, if you're new, hey, maybe drop a subscribe, okay? I need that shit. I'm desperate for that shit. But, comment what you guys think. Obviously, the like and all the other, bullshit, the bell, whoa, whatever. But, I will obviously be catching up with you guys. I want to do more of these update videos like this where we're just talking and catching up with each other in terms of life and what's going on in general, because I think it's very important. And we'll figure out where to go next, because I've got a lot planned, especially in terms of just uploading, because I want to get a lot of series out. A lot of these videos I feel like don't do well, but again, for me, it's like I said, undeniable. Like, I want to make sure that I keep doing it just for the fact of doing it, because something's got to stick at some point. Eventually, something's going to. And whether I die before that or not, that's the question. But I'm not giving up. Not until that happens. So, smile. Keep it up. And remember, guys, let's fight for a future so bright. You so much for eyes. My name is Buddha Hangout. I'll see you guys in the next one.